ever wish your day wasn't dictated by your health? Are you tired of being tired all the time, or is pain holding you back from enjoying your time with your family? Would you like to manage your symptoms holistically, but you just don't know where to begin? I am so excited that you're here. This podcast will help you understand how natural remedies work so you can relieve your symptoms and live a fuller life. My name is Penny. I'm an occupational therapist, past pharmaceutical rep, a mom, and a wife with a strong faith, and for 25 years, I battled through debilitating Crohn's disease. I took all the medicine and did all the surgeries that stole so much time with my family, but never truly healed me. I finally realized if I was going to survive this disease, I needed to open my stubborn eyes to alternative solutions. I researched how perfectly our bodies work with plants and a lifestyle that made my health less of a burden to my family and aligned so beautifully with my faith and my medical training. If you're ready to reclaim your life with holistic options that are easy to implement as a busy mom and provide relief that lasts, this is the podcast for you. Hey friends, welcome back to the Becoming Natural podcast. I am Penny, your host, and I am happy to get to chat with you today about seed oils. Is the seed oil excitement really worthy? We are constantly hearing a broad swath that seed oils are bad. Is that really the case? And if it is, what are seed oils and what can take their place? You know, every few years, the wellness world picks a new villain. Gluten had its moment, then carbs got blamed for everything from brain fog to bad moods, and now it's seed oils, the poor little seeds out there minding their own business, and the whole internet is saying they're the problem. But anytime something gets labeled as always bad or always good, I always have to kind of think and dig a little bit, go down a rabbit hole, because God did not design our bodies in black and white. He designed it with many layers, a nuance and a rhythm and a balance. As I always say, it's an orchestra of processes meant to work together in complete harmony. So is it the seed oil specifically? Is it the process that the seed oils impact, or is it a little bit of both? So today we're going to slow things down and talk about seed oils in a way that's grounded, clear, and compassionate. No shame at all if you find out you're eating loads of seed oils. So if you eat this, your life is not over kind of feeling. We're going to learn what we need to learn so that we can make better choices moving forward. Our bodies were naturally created with detox pathways. Remember, we've learned about lymphatics and sweating and the liver. We're going to talk about what seed oils actually are, where the concerns come from, what the science actually says, and why the way we extract the oil actually matters. How to make all of that simple, doable, and make really good swaps in your home without losing your ever-loving mind. All right, so let's get into it. First question is, what are seed oils actually? Seed oils are exactly what they sound like. They're actually the oils that are extracted from seeds. The most common ones that you'll see are canola, soybean, corn, sunflower oil, safflower oil, grapeseed oil, cottonseed, maybe rice bran oil, but food companies love these oils because they're cheap, they're neutral in flavoring, and they're shelf stable. They're easy to use in packaged foods and fast food. And listen, if I were a food manufacturer trying to make 6 million crackers in a minute, I'd probably love them too. However, our bodies have a different experience with the oils. Before we go any further though, I really want to clear up one big misconception, because I had this misconception about canola oil. What is canola oil? Canola oil does not come from a plant called canola. There's no magical canola tree growing in the wholesome Midwest that we've all been picturing. Those gorgeous yellow fields that we've seen in photos, and I have a beautiful picture from when I was in Montana that I took of it. Farmers call them canola fields, but botanically, they're actually a selectively bred form of rapeseed. Back in the 1970s, Canadian scientists took the rapeseed plant, which naturally had two compounds that were not ideal for human consumption. They bred those compounds way down. One made the oil bitter and the other was unsafe at high levels. So when they created this new improved seed, they named it canola. And guess what? The C-A-N, is for Canada, the O is for oil, and the L-A is for low acid. That's how they came up with the word canola. I didn't know that. So yes, you're eating oil from a seed, but no, it didn't come from a plant originally named canola. It came from a modified rapeseed plant with a much nicer personality. But what's rapeseed? So in case you're wondering exactly what the rapeseed is, let me tell you real quick what rapeseed is, and because the name alone throws people. Rapeseed is the bright yellow flowering plant It's in the mustard family. So think cousins of broccoli, cabbage, mustard greens, kale. It grows tall, blooms beautifully, and produces little seed pods packed with oil. Historically, rapeseed wasn't used much for cooking. It was mostly used for things like lamp oil, lubricants, and animal feed because that original version naturally contained those two compounds we just mentioned that were not great for human consumption. Those two compounds were erucic acid, that's spelled ERUCIC, and glucosinolates. That's why in the 1970s, those Canadian breeders adjusted the plant and they created that version that was low in both of those compounds, which became canola. So when we see those beautiful fields and we say, oh, look at that, that's canola, it's actually rapeseed, or more specifically, canola's parent plant. So it's beautiful, it's useful, but it's definitely different from the wholesome, fresh farm image that marketing departments love to give it. Those massive, beautiful golden fields you see in Canada and across the Midwest, those aren't fields of some wholesome, old-fashioned canola plant growing for your grandma's frying pan. Those fields are growing the modern, low-acid version of rapeseed that was bred specifically for mass production. Most of it ends up as bottled canola oil, oils used in processed and packaged foods, restaurant and fast food fryer oil, biofuels, industrial products, and the leftover seed meal becomes livestock feed. Yeah, that's really great to think of when you think of we are what we eat. So yes, they're gorgeous to look at, but they're also one of the biggest agricultural systems feeding processed food industry today. Not necessarily a handcraft, farm fresh cooking oil, more like the backbone of modern convenience foods. Yes, that's the truth. So now that we've cleared that up, we're going to get to the real concerns about seed oil. So where does the seed oil concern come from? There's three main concerns with seed oils. So the first and the biggest concern would be that seed oils are omega-6 fatty acids. Omega-6 gets a really bad reputation online, but the truth is God designed omega-6 for a purpose. Omega-6 is actually good for you in healthy amounts. It helps with your wound healing. It helps with immune activation. It helps with healthy inflammation when it's needed, such as, let's think about like a blister. You form a blister around a splinter. That's inflammation because that is protecting this part of your body that it knows is injured and it needs help. Hormone production, it helps with cell signaling throughout our body. Omega-6 is not actually the villain. It's like the fire. So it's helpful when it's contained, but it's destructive when it's not contained. So where omega-6s actually become a problem, the issue isn't actually omega-6 itself. It's the issue when there is an imbalance. So get this, historically, humans ate omega-6 and omega-3s in about a 1-to-1 ratio. But today, the average American is somewhere between 20-to-1 and 30-to-1 ratio, meaning 30 omega-6 to 1 omega-3. So imagine the best way I can say it is imagine sitting on a seesaw with an 800-pound person sitting on the other end. And that's what's happening inside the modern body. One side is doing way more of the work, and our inflammation pathways feel that. So the omega-6 tends to turn inflammation on, while omega-3 helps turn it off. We need both of them. We just don't need a world where the turn-on switch is on constantly. We need to be able to keep that balance of the omega-3 and the omega-6s. So the second concern is the way that seed oils are made. Many seed oils are extracted using very high heat and chemical solvents, and fragile fats do not like that heat. They do not like solvents, and they certainly do not like being pushed to their breaking point. This leads perfectly into the entire section that we need to highlight, why extraction matters and why it's a thing. And this part deserves its own spotlight because it applies to many different types of oils that we use on, in, or around our bodies. And we've kind of danced around it a few times in the past, and I think we need to hit it head on today. But because how an oil is extracted changes what it does inside of every part of our body. Most people don't realize this. They think oil is oil is oil is oil, but extraction is absolutely everything. So let's break it down. You have probably seen these words before and you just kind of didn't really know what they meant and went on your way. But cold pressed oils That is the gentle way. That is the ideal way. Cold press means that the oil is extracted mechanically without high heat. And why does this matter? Because those polyunsaturated fats, like the ones in seed oils, are very delicate and they break down under heat, which means they oxidize. Hold on for just a second. So they form compounds your body sees as a stress signal when they're oxidized. Cold pressed oils actually keep their structure. They stay closer to the way that God put them in the plant. They don't come with the inflammatory baggage of high heat extraction. Think of cold pressed oil like someone handing you a fresh squeezed orange juice straight from the fruit. It's simple, it's pure, and it's recognizable. The second kind of oil you might have heard of is expeller-pressed oils. Still much better than heat, but expeller-pressed oils are extracted through pressure only. No chemical solvents, which is good, but pressure does create some heat from friction, but nothing like the industrial refining. The benefits of expeller-pressed oils are that there's no chemical solvents. Amen. Lower oxidation levels, more stable fats, they're not going to break down and oxidize, and fewer inflammatory byproducts. Remember when we talked about inflammation, it's always those cytokines. Remember, always relate inflammation, cytokines, inflammation. So if cold pressed is first class seating, expeller pressed is your business class, and refined seed oils are the middle seat in coach next to the toilet. Bless them. But we're not going to choose them if we don't have to. But there's still a seat on the airplane, right? So the real problem is actually the heat and the solvents. Here's how most cheap seed oils are made. They're blasted with high heat. They're washed with chemical solvents, which is usually hexane. That's why we've talked about hexane-free before. They're bleached, yuck, and then deodorized, or that means adding some sort of a fragrance to them, which we don't like that either. This not only damages the fats, it creates compounds your body has to clean up after we've consumed them. Why add all that extra work to our liver, to our detox pathways, to our lymphatic system when these healthier alternatives exist that our body does not have to clean up? So that simple analogy again is that cold press is like squeezing fresh fruit with your hands. Heat processed is like boiling the fruit, bleaching it, deodorizing it, and calling it natural. One honors the food the way that God designed it. The other is kind of trying to do the same. So the third concern is that seed oils are hidden everywhere. This is where things really stack up. Most people aren't cooking with seed oils at home. They're eating seed oils through our chips, crackers, granola bars, salad dressings, fast food, frozen foods, breads, sauces, dips, baked goods, restaurant foods, many foods that we think are safe and many foods that we think are healthy alternatives. Seed oils are the glitter of the food world. Once they're in something, they're everywhere. I kind of, in my own mind, own opinion here, is I kind of compare them to high fructose corn syrup. So this is why using them less at home really matters. Your house is the one place where you can control things and where you can shift the balance. What seed oils are not? Seed oils are not instant poison. They are not the root of all health issues, and they're not something to panic about. Seed oils are overconsumed, highly refined, imbalanced in the modern diet, and inflammatory when eaten consistently. Your grandma's frying chicken in corn oil twice a month, she's totally fine. She probably is healthier than we are. But your family eating packaged foods every single day, totally different story. This is where I have to highlight, don't feel the shame and don't feel the guilt, because my kids are still eating packaged foods. We try our best and we try to control what we can control. And then we run through a drive-through because we're on our way to practice and it's the easiest option. And we just close our eyes and put our fingers in our ears and just say, please, Lord, protect their bodies. But when we know more, we do better. So how do these oils affect our body? They influence our inflammation. The omega-6 drives inflammation up. Omega-3 drives inflammation down. Modern life gives us plenty of up, so our body is begging for a down. They alter our cellular membranes. So every cell in our body, we've talked about this before as well, has a fatty membrane. Those membranes are built from the fats that we eat. So stable fats equals strong cells. Fragile, oxidized fats equal fragile, stressed out cells. You literally become what you consume. I think just as a little side note here, it's always fun to know the why. It kind of motivates me to make better choices when I understand versus seed oils are bad, to understand why they're bad and how they're bad so that when I'm consuming them, I know, okay, just because this tastes really good, it's probably not really that good for my body. And to treat my body better, this is how I can do it. So understanding the why is important to me. The third thing that these oils can do is they increase our oxidative stress. And we have talked about oxidation before, but oxidized oils produce compounds that your liver and your immune system have to neutralize. They have to bring in little cells to merge with them in order to take them out of our body. It just creates extra work. Our body can totally handle it. Our bodies just don't want to handle it all day, every day. So when seed oils are not a big deal, seed oils aren't a crisis when they're not a daily thing. When you choose cold-pressed or expeller-pressed seed oils, you don't heat them on high, which is a note we're going to talk about in a minute. You balance them with your omega-3 fatty acids, because if you increase your omega-6s, you're turning on. If you balance them with omega-3s, then you're neutralizing that increase in omega-6s. You keep that ratio, closer to a 1-to-1 versus that 30-to-1 ratio. And you keep processed food in moderation. This is not about perfection, friends, at all. This is about creating healthy patterns so that when you do consume those omega-6s, your body isn't already in overdrive and can handle what it's given more readily, because God made omega-6s for a reason, and a good reason. We just have gotten to a point where the things that we consume kind of abuse our bodies if we don't make good choices. So what are the healthier oils that we can use at home? So for cold purpose, such as salad dressings, things like that, we want to use extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, walnut oil. Those are really great oils to use when you're not heating them. For medium heat, you want to use avocado oil, coconut oil, and refined olive oil, which here was another rabbit hole for me because refined automatically makes my hackles go up. So refined olive oil is actually not refined the same way that seed oils are. It's not blasted with chemical solvents, deodorized, bleached, all the things. It's not stripped down. With olive oil, refined simply means that it's filtered, the impurities are removed, and it's gently processed to raise the smoke point. It becomes more stable for cooking. That's all it is. So, because here's the thing, extra virgin olive oil burns at lower temperatures. It has beautiful antioxidants, but it's very delicate. It's fragile. We don't want to make it to where it falls apart, right? So use it on salads, dips, drizzles, and low heat cooking, because that heat, even with extra virgin olive oil, will break down the fat molecules. But when you're cooking at a medium heat, such as sauteing vegetables, browning chicken, roasting things around 375 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, the extra virgin olive oil breaks down too quickly. So refined olive oil steps in as the stable, heat-safe friend. It can tolerate about 425 degrees Fahrenheit before it starts smoking, which keeps the fats intact and keeps you from eating oxidized oil. So if you see your oil start smoking, it's too hot. If you want the simplest rule, extra virgin for flavor and finishing, refined or, quote, light olive oil for medium heat. Refined olive oil is still olive oil. It's just a version that's better suited to the heat because its impurities that might actually burn and smoke and cause that breakdown of the molecule have been removed. All right, I learned something there too. So let's keep going. For high heat, if you need to cook something on high heat, your best options are butter, ghee, tallow. Ooh, I love me some tallow. We've talked about that in skincare. Duck fat and coconut oil. So these oils are stable. They don't break down as easily, and they stay peaceful in your hot frying pan, cooking pan, and they also stay peaceful inside of our bodies because they're not breaking down and smoking. So what I do in my own kitchen, and if you know me, I'm not the most incredible chef. I'm just trying to do better on a daily basis. But in my home, I try to avoid seed oils simply because I can. We get enough inflammation from stress, modern life, processed foods, fragrances, plastic exposure, you name it. So why add more when I have choices? I use olive oil and avocado oil most often, butter when it's real butter. Has to be real butter, friends. And definitely coconut oil when it's a little sweeter. And when I buy snacks for my boys, I always look for better oils when possible, but I don't obsess over it because it can become incredibly overwhelming. We just learn how to make the best choices that we can when we can, and those good choices stack up over time, I promise you, and they make a long-term difference. So here's what I want you to remember, that inflammation, it's not a mistake. We talk about it, and I do too, all the time. Inflammation is bad, but really inflammation is a part of God's design for our body. It's a holy alarm system that is meant to protect us. But like all alarms, it was never meant to be blaring constantly. Seed oils are not sinful. They're not something you need to just throw out of your pantry immediately, but they're something that keeps the alarm louder than it needs to be in our modern world, where we juggle alarms from multiple directions all at once. Your body was created with resilience. It was created to repair and with renewal. Our bodies were designed to heal. So when you choose gentler oils at home, you're not being dramatic or crazy, but you're partnering with the design God placed in you to balance out the times when maybe those seed oils sneak in when we're outside of our home, or we can't control everything that our kids consume at school or with friends. So we're just partnering with that perfect design that God placed in us. Ezekiel 47:12 reminds us that God provided nourishment for healing, and Jeremiah 30:17 tells us that restoration is His heart for us. Our job is simply to create an environment where our bodies can do what it was built to do. So don't panic. Don't throw everything out of your pantry. Just make better choices from this moment forward. Look at those ingredient lists whenever you're buying those Yogi Bears or whatever we buy at the store when we're shopping. Now you just know what seed oils are and which ones to avoid. And if you can't avoid them, it's not the end of the world. Our bodies were created to detox. That's our whole system is created that way. So you don't need to fear seed oils. You don't need to throw away everything in the pantry. You don't need to live in all or nothing thinking. You just need to make simple, steady choices at home. You create balance where the world gives us imbalance, and trust that our body, which was fearfully and wonderfully made, and it knows how to heal, and it knows what to do. So when you know better, you do better. And when you do better, your body responds. And you will feel it, because you will feel better and better as those good choices stack up, because God built healing into our design. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope this helps clear up any fuzzy thinking for anybody now about seed oils. And until I see you next week, have a great week. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you've enjoyed today's episode, hit that follow button, leave a 5-star review if you're so willing, and help spread the message of Becoming Natural by sharing it with a friend. Check out the resources in the show notes and join the email list to stay on top of all the latest and greatest happenings at Becoming Natural as we roll out exciting new things while we grow. Until next time, take those baby steps to a more natural life, and always give yourself grace. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. See you next week.